If you meet somebody who has more knowledge, rather than feeling like you're inferior, I always look at somebody with more knowledge than me as a great ally. And usually people who have a lot of knowledge like that they have a lot of knowledge. They like to be praised for their knowledge. Back to this story about the gal I talked to. I said, why don't you go up to that person and say, you know, you're really knowledgeable about this industry. Would you be willing to partner with me? Would you be willing to mentor me? Would you be willing to work with me in some way? Would you be willing to share your knowledge? Because I'm seeking somebody who has the wisdom that you have. Changes the relationship. Now you don't have to feel inferior. You can kind of feel like, you know, you surround yourself with the best players you can find. And that's really what the whole new game of business is about. It's a team sport. Mm-hmm. You can't do it alone. Most of us are trying to do it alone. I'm a loner. I'm an independent kind of person. My dad, when I was like 4 years old, he said to me, Mitch, if you want to get something done,
do it yourself.
You knew my dad?
I had the same one.
You had the same dad?
Sterling Collins, I had the same dad too.
You too. I can't believe how many of us have the same dad. If you want to do something, you want to get it done, do it yourself. So I became very independent, self-reliant. And then the game changed from independence to interdependence. So guess what? Your team is as or more important than your talent. Bring that really clearly home. Your team is as or more important than your talent, and here's the hardest thing that I had to adjust my thinking, and this was in the way for me. How do I create a team of players better than me? Better than me. How do I surround myself and attract players to my game? Obviously, they have to have a stake in the game. Or better than me. Well, boy, this is a real conflict. If you grow up thinking you're supposed to be the smartest gal in the room, or the smartest guy in the room, for 10 years I was a full-time speaker. It took me 6 years before I realized that my being up here was not about having more knowledge than anybody in the room. I thought I had to be the smartest guy in the room, otherwise I didn't belong up here. So I focused on knowledge. And I thought I had to be the best player. And then one day I realized, my goodness, there are so many good players out there who are looking for a good game to play.
Yeah.
How do you make your game appealing, enticing, attractive, so that you attract the players who can help you, who are actually better than you? I want to help make other players better. I came from an athletic background. And my game was making the players around me better, right? So if all I do is focus on my game, then I'll get better. And I'll become as good as I can be in focusing on my game. But what if I actually can make the players around me better? Think about impact, right? You talk about impact. You can only have so much impact as an individual. And even the most powerful, connected individual can only go so far by themselves, right? But just think about the power you have when you walk into a room and everybody seeks you out because you make them feel better about themselves and you help them to become better players at their game. You become very attractive to them, all right? And that's part of the challenge this whole joint venture model has. It's a selfish model. Meaning, I want to sell my product to more people, and I just got to find the people who can help me do that. But the underlying message is not necessarily, I want to help everybody be a better player. It's like, how much can I make? How big can my launch be? Can I do a 7-figure launch? You know, that kind of thing. So for me, this is always something I want most, is I want to continually be able to strive to make the players around me better, so that when I'm in the game with them, if I have an off day, we all have off days, right? We all have days in which we're not performing to our best. If you have a team of people around you who support you, they lift you up, they cover for you. You know, you have a day where you just make an error after an error after an error, right? And you have teammates around you. It's an amazing feeling to have that.